Good afternoon. Is it? Yes. Good afternoon, gentlemen and gentlemen. Alright, then we're going to try it again with a little bit of audience participation because it's more fun that way, I think. Good afternoon, everybody. Yay! There we go. You're Australian, you have to do good at sports, good at this interaction, good at this malarkey. Thanks for having me. My name's Andrew Wood. It's going to be Citrix Lifecycle Management. How smart is a smart tool? Hands up if you've used Citrix Lifecycle Management before. Oh, 2. 2.5. Says the man from Citrix. All right then. Hands up. No, that'll do. Cool. My name's Andrew Wood. How many of you read anything on any ever before? The person I'm actually staying with, hand down, doesn't want to know. That's snoring for you, I expect. I've come a little way. I come from the northeast of England. Sunderland, to be precise, if anyone's been there. If you're ever there, I'd love to see you. It was fun create this presentation up until this chap does his NVIDIA piece and then says, how many people have used, who wants to go to the cloud? Obviously the 2 ends, because you can only spell with 2 ends. Who wants to go to the cloud? And I looked across the room, and basically it was that. Tumbleweed, not one of you, everyone hands down, you all found stuff to look at the ceiling, out of the window, no one wanted to talk about cloud, and I thought to myself, this is going to be a bit tougher than I originally anticipated. Still, the risk of blindness, the risk of injury, the risk of death, the risk of inability to show that you can catch is at 0% for this particular presentation, so everyone can feel safer. I do have prizes, which I'm going to steal from other people, unless you need them. You do need them? You just eat them? Do you need these prizes? No? Did you do it? All right then.
That's for presenters when the demo goes bad.
Oh! These. Alright, yeah. I'll just crack on these now, is what I'm going to say. Hands up if you've never presented at E2E before and did a live demo. You should have one of these. Because I presented at E2E before and I've done live demos, and I now never do live demos. What they all say is you should do videos of your stuff. I've even done VC presentations where the videos have gone wrong. Which they will do, looking at stuff later on. Anyway, I digress. A while ago at Synergy, when Citrix Lifecycle Management was a brand new, newborn thing, fresh from Scale Extreme, I did a presentation with my colleague Jim Moyle, and we talked about all of the marvellous things that Citrix Lifecycle Management could do. Hands up in the audience if you've got small children, or even large children. I mean, I have only 2-year-olds. When they're this age, everything's going to be fucking brilliant, isn't it? They are going to be presidents, they're going to be top sports people, they're going to be marvellous. And then they grow up. And you get a little bit older, and you think, A, why did I have them? Why did I even bother on this debacle? It can get challenging. So this presentation is about the challenges of smart tools, stuff that I've worked with smart tools and Citrix Lifecycle Management, so stuff that I've come across, and hopefully, yes, I'll let you build it one day, and hopefully that will enable you people to be valuable members of the community. Well, bless you, like my little daughter there, who is, you may note, wearing her E2E VC line from Lisbon. So second one, she's also been to Synergy. That's a cotton sauce. And if you could be a valuable community member who understands how smart tools works, then you could go on to be a superhero too. There is no technical content, it's just pictures of my children. Yes. All right.
Andrew.
Yes, sir.
5 minutes.
5 more minutes. I should have started on time like last time. All right, okay. So, single platform. So ultimately, Citrix is driving you, wanting you to go to the cloud. There'll be a slide on that. And Workspace Cloud is the control center that they're doing that for. So we talked about earlier on today. Talked about the desktop as a service, the mobility management. Anyone using this mobile stuff?
Yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah.
And you've got secure data management as well, anybody using the share files. Just you. Oh, well, one more person. Yep. We realised that we can not. That's fantastic. Right, so share files, cool. This piece is cool. But Citrix Lifecycle Management Services is useful for those people who want to start to use cloud services but aren't entirely sure whether it's for them. So that's when it was initially released, and then it got changed. Because it's Citrix, we have to change the name of the product every 5 minutes, otherwise there's no value in all of those people who are in marketing. So this is the Citrix piece, this is the bit that Citrix, we'll edit that out of the video.
They know that.
Citrix architects and operate all of this, taking the pressure off you, the consumer, because they'll deal with it across, I'm sure, multiple data centers. Back in the day I heard that the Lifecycle Management Service was on 20 servers. It was in Amazon. It may or may not be in Azure now. If you look closely, you'll find that some of it is still on Amazon, which I think is a good thing. Yeah, because Amazon fell on its arse, Microsoft fell on its arse. So if we're going to have a Citrix operated environment, that ideally we've got multiple clouds, so if either one of them falls on their arse, we're still doing it. Anywho, Lifecycle Management Services, that's what it was, and it got changed to be smart tools. So we're going to find out what's so smart about a smart tool. There is, of course, all of your shit that you can connect to with cloud connectors. The nice thing about smart tools, it'll work with the stuff that's in the cloud, if you've got Azure or whatever, Amazon Web Services, and the stuff that you've got in your own data center. And now, we're starting to have workspace appliances. I work for a company called Atlantis Computing. Hands up if you've ever heard of them. Cool, some conversations to have later. But this isn't an Atlantis speech, this is just what I understand. Workspace appliances are HCI ready, so an appliance that you can just put in your organization that will auto-deploy an environment that you can run locally on your own premise. Atlantis and HP are one of the first to offer those, but I'm sure the likes of Nutanix et al. Will be following on soon. But all of that can be managed using smart tools and other services that they have. It's also one of the reasons that Citrix want to drive you or help you move towards the cloud is because it's so much easier for them to gain revenue from you on a constant and articulated basis, yes? I'm sure there's some other good stuff for you as well, but all software companies want to ensure that that revenue keeps coming in, because otherwise you can't get that excellent support that Citrix strives to give you all of the time. So knowing Smiles down from here, then maybe you can talk to them about later. All right, so cool. So there's some pain points. So if we're going to move to the cloud, let's solve some pain points, that's always useful. Hands up if you recognise any of these? Cool. It's you every time, it's very helpful, thank you very much. Quite often these environments, especially for a Citrix deployment, it's a slow time to load. It takes a long time to set up all of the POCs that people keep talking about. There's a number of infrastructure dependencies. Upgrades can be a pain. I think we could all agree on pain. We could maybe use in the arms as well, but we would all agree on pain. So if we can have a service that allows you to remove all of these pain points, get time to value for your customers, for your users more quickly, that would be very helpful. And if you didn't have to set up all of that infrastructure piece in order to manage that, there's value to you as consumers of that service. Yes? In the same way that Control Up say, you just install it, we'll keep all of your data in the cloud, and then you analyze and do that later. That's a very useful thing. People are engaged with that. Same sort of thing with the smart tool service. If you look at delivered by IT, so this is probably, hands up again, all of those who are like end users, deliverers of IT, and sort of this bit. Nods. Hands up. It's that accent, I'm sure. Anytime you like me, you just stand in front of the camera and spoil the whole thing. You failed abysmally. And then you've got all of the stuff that's delivered by outsourcers. And where the workspace cloud services sort of sit is the smart tool services. So let's give you a blueprint manager. I'll talk about what blueprints are in a little while. Let's give you a blueprint managed environment where we're going to standardize that environment and give you repeatability. So it's always quite fun when you've got people coming in and giving you or configuring your environment that they don't all do it the same way. So maybe guy A comes in and he's very good, and he does it brilliantly, and then you get guy B coming in a little bit later on as your service expands, and he's a bit rubbish. And then now you have an inconsistent and a non-standard service. Let's try and take that pain point away. Yeah. Let's give you some automated health checks It's not really good about monitoring, which is cool and alerting when something goes wrong, but I hope it's the right service level, have you got the right patches applied, is the service environment. And ideally, it's all going splendidly well, and then you've got some more users and you want to scale out. Let's try and automate. And let's give you a hybrid delivery, because maybe now you've engaged with this software as a service in Smart Tools, you've got a bit more faith in that cloud environment, you want to expand out and maybe use Azure. Or you know that you're going to come to a point where you need to give a greater level of service for whatever reason, but you're not going to get the kit in time. So you're going to use some Azure services in order to expand out your environment. And then when you finish with that, you can just dispose of it, you can just roll it back and go back to your own kit. And let's script that. Because to be honest, we don't want to do the same thing again and again and again and again and again. But the reality when we start to script stuff is, it's not as easy as it looks. There's some knowing smiles there. Yeah, I'll write a script for that, and it'll take you 2 minutes. And that's your entire weekend gone. Your wife's not speaking to you, you've still not got it automated, and you have to do it all again. So why don't we try and share and contribute to that environment and use smart some other people in order to drive your stuff on, like we saw with a Lego. You might not have seen yet, because I've got my timelines mixed up, because I travelled for 21 hours on my day. I'm still not quite sure what day it is. Citrix Smart Tools. So let's allow you to do that design, deploy, monitor, manage, upgrade as a service. Regardless of whether, fantastic about Zen Desktop Essentials being a complete service in the cloud, but I've got some shit that I still have and I still own on my own premises. Can I do that? Can I have existing deployments and new deployments on my own stuff, but use stuff in the cloud in order to manage it? So why is it smart? I've got my Zen family, I've got my Zen Desktop, I've got my Zen app, I've got my Zen server, hands up Zen server users. It's almost an embarrassed raise of your hand. I understand your pain, so I understand. So Zen app, Zen Desktop, that's cool. Share file, yes, that's fine, we've already talked about that. Netscaler. What's interesting about, I think, about the Smart Tools is that it really focuses on the Zen family piece at the moment, actually Zen Desktop and Zen app. There's a little bit of Zen server going in. These pieces, not so much. There's some Netscaler deployment, but not necessarily share file. I'm quite sure of that. Bless you. There are 4 pieces. So Smart Build, let me build it out. Let's use the blueprints in order to build my environment, automate the way that I do stuff. Smart Migrate. So maybe I've got VDI in a box. Any users of VDI in a box? Did I ever get this far? Possibly not. Yeah, it did. So you can use the tools, the blueprints that are available to migrate from VDI in a box into a Zen Desktop environment, or from Horizon View into a Zen Desktop environment, or indeed an RDSH environment, or RDSH services into Zen. Smart Scale. I have got 150 desktops. I am approaching the limit of that. How can I scale that out so that all of the desktops, all of the RDSH, all the Zen app instances are replicated or extended out to the cloud or some new services that I'm bringing in my environment? And Smart Check. This is smart. Let's use some nous, some understanding, some smarts from Citrix in order to check and validate the environment that I've got in order to tell you whether or not it's going to be running properly. And I may well be finding that it's not running to spec in that my CPU usage has gone up, but am I at the right service pack level? Have I got the right patches applied? Have I applied best practices for all the configuration settings? That is what Smart Check is about. So I've told you that you've got Smart Build, I've used the word smart, I've told you you've got Smart Scale, I've used the word smart, I've told you that you've got Smart Check, I've used the word smart and Smart Migrate, but why? Why is it smart? Ultimately, what Citrix are trying to do is build in the understanding that the Citrix SEs have got, partners have got, people who work with Citrix have got, and put those into services that you can make use of all the time. So learning from the people who've got the experience in order that when you build out, you're applying the best practices first time. You're not going to have to look stuff up as much as you have to do before. So you can concentrate and focus on what it is that your users or the business is doing, not necessarily have I got their Citrix environment set up correctly. So you can start talking, there was one of the things that was mentioned in the video environment. You can actually speak to people and understand the applications that they're using. That's the hard part, that's the clever part, that's the value add part. The Citrix part, there should be lots of experience that you can already build on. Let's use that. Let's use those smarts. And it's that sort of smarts that are coming into these HCI-ready appliances. Let's build that. See, that's how you do it. You bend up, and I've got a funny way there. Those sort of devices that build on these tools in order to make installing new services, especially like small or medium-sized enterprise, more easy. And yes, this is Atlantis USX with HP, but other vendors, I'm sure, will be available soon. So where can I get all of this smarts? What licenses does it come in? If you've got the Citrix cloud apps and desktops where license, then you've got all of these bits. You get smart build, migrate, check, smart security, it's all available to you. Back in the day, when it was Citrix Lifecycle Management, I advocated that the smart stuff, the Citrix Essentials, the ability to do blueprints, the ability to deploy stuff, should just be free. You shouldn't have to pay for that, like what we used to do. Maybe someone listened, or maybe someone had exactly the same brilliant idea and implemented it on their own. I don't know. It doesn't matter. If you've got this license type with this package, then you get it. If you've got your standard licenses, your perpetual licenses, if you've got advanced, hands up advanced, what do you? Enterprise? Okay, platinum. Everyone's got platinum. You should get all of the stuff. With all of the stuff, then you get all the way up to smart scale. There's also a sort of free version if you're doing a POC or if you're doing a VMware migration where you get smart build and smart migrate for just those two, just to allow you to move on. So you talked about a lot, Andrew. What are the components? It's software as a service. There is no on-premises version. There's not an appliance you can stick in your own environment. This is software as a service. You would subscribe in the same way that you do for the cloud, the Citrix cloud piece. You log on with a similar interface and then you get access to all of these resources. You'll need a resource location. So that might be Azure or Amazon Workspace services.
Web.
Sorry? Okay, cool. Or it might be a resource location as in your own environment, which is vSphere, or it's Hyper-V, or it's Zenser. Now I look at you again. You'll have an agent. The agent will be installed in each of the VMs that you want to manage, or in the image that you're going to deploy. So you can interact with it, monitor it, and do stuff with it. And then potentially, you've got on a connector. So on any other machine in your environment, any other Windows VM in your environment, you install a connector, and that will allow you to communicate with the hypervisors that you've got on your on-prem systems. And then blueprints. I still don't know whether or not I've got that. Hey, whatever. So at a high level, it's running as a cloud service. It's connecting to your external resources securely, so you've put in all of your API keys and your authentication pieces that you need to do. Or alternatively, you've got your own on-premises environment and you've installed this smart agent connector on a VM. It's a simple install as this. It'll communicate across your firewall with a number of different, and they do document them, which is nice. Early doors they didn't, so it sort of guesses what firewall ports you open. And it'll communicate with the Smart Tools service, allowing you to interact with each one of your environments. You have created a template. So when we talked about the Citrix Zen desktop, Zen App Essentials, you buy a template from the store, you have to do something. You have to create a Windows instance with the agent installed, with a set defined password. So when you say create me a VM, create me a Zen App instance, it'll automatically create you a Zen App instance and run through a blueprint on it, allowing you to build out and manage the environment. There, I knew there was a Lego thing in some way. So what is the use of, this is where videos don't go wrong, part 1. What's the advantage of having, a blueprint? Well, you can do stuff yourself, right? Or, you could usually notice the blue brick is in the same place as the other blue brick. This is important. This guy has used other people's services. He's incorporated the smart learning from other people. He's incorporated blueprints. Notice how fast he's got for time to delivery using the same blue brick when he uses other people's resources. It's a fantastic analysis. You deserve an You'll all be using that in various presentations for other stuff. Right. There are a variety of blueprints available. I've gone through, I think this is the most recent. So you notice that similar Citrix Cloud Services, you've logged up the environment that you saw earlier today. You'll know Zen App and Zen Desktop without SQL, so you've already set your SQL up, so this will just deploy for you. With SQL, so if you just wanted to do a brand new installation, didn't want to have to go through the rigmarole of doing everything yourself, these blueprints allow you to do all of that. And all of these have been created, I think by one guy. There's definitely all of these created by Citrix themselves, so you're already getting the best practices. They're all using PowerShell scripts. So they're doing, if we go back to the picture there, it's running from the software as a service, it's communicating through the firewall, running on the agents and installing all of the components that you need within your enterprise. And that's just the Citrix one. There's various components that you can start doing with the stuff if you wanted to. You can create your own blueprints and share them with other people. All lovely. And then partners, like Lakeside, like EG Innovations, obviously not controlled because you're just an executor. But the people have all put in their own resources. So this is very cool and very useful as a shared community piece. Tricky though, tricky for the vendors to put in their own stuff and then maybe commoditize, store that. Just for the way that Smart Tools works today. Not necessarily your problem, nice problem for you, but from a vendor's point of view, it poses a couple of challenges. Nice. And then community people. So Nutanix have put in a master blueprint AppSense, have left something that hasn't been called Avanti, so haha. You can deploy a USX appliance, all sorts of stuff. So you can create, or it's possible for people to create blueprints and then share them with people, which is nice. Cool. How are we doing? Awesome, 15 minutes, flying through. So what makes up a Spark? So a blueprint can consist of a number of different things. It's effectively a set of scripts. Written in whatever it is that you want. You could write them in PowerShell, you could write them in PowerShell, you could write them in VBScript. Hands-on uses PowerShell. Most of the things, so you can write them out. VBScript if you wanted to. You can make batch files if you really need to. You can write your own scripts. You bring all of those scripts together with some utility steps, so that's create VM. This is like generic interactions with your hypervisor, and then cloud steps for those instances where you're communicating with cloud services like AWS or Azure. Bring all of that together in a blueprint of steps I'd like to do in order to install my shit. The really nice thing is a blueprint can contain another blueprint. So you have steps install my shit, and then I need another thing, so steps install. So you can start to bring blueprints together to make a blueprint consisting of blueprints.
But I mean, the blueprints do not always apply to any environment, isn't it? It cannot really be...
That's true. So you can set it to, a blueprint can apply to specific environments. So you can say this is just an Azure blueprint. You can say this is a blueprint that will only apply to Windows 2016 instances, or this blueprint will only apply to Zen Server, or this blueprint will assign to anything. That's a great question. What shit would you like from the table?
Well, if you'll give me my own notebook.
There is the Citrix sex toy. It's supposed to be a very nice Dell laptop. There's a glass of water or a pen. What would you like?
I'll take the Jack Daniels.
Jack
If there's still any.
We'll keep a Jack Daniels for you. That's oh my God.
Speakers only.
You don't trust me to drink it now?
No, I don't just drink it ever. Yes, so that's all sorts of wonderful things. This is about templates, ultimately. I can never remember the reference. It made perfect sense when I put the slide together, but now it's slightly lost to me. It's because, now I read the notes. It's about a building block approach to designing a very useful environment. The interesting thing about the blueprints is, whenever you create something in Smart Tools, it is going to create for you a VM instance. You have to create a template. But the fun thing about creating a template is what's in that template. When you've created that template in order to deploy it elsewhere, how do you ensure that the template can be reproduced if you need to put it in a new environment? It's all very well buying it from a store, but what went into it originally is useful. There are a number of useful ways to build goal builds that you can then deploy into other environments. So Aaron did something well worth the read, and then allegedly someone else took what Aaron did and did it in a different way. I'll let you make your own opinions, you make both. But if you're going to create a template for anything, understand the process that went into making that template. It's not just you putting some stuff together, then wrapping it up as a template with syscrap or whatever, because now when I hand that to someone else, what's in that? If something starts to go wrong in that, how can I recreate that particular environment? Hard to do if you haven't automated that process itself. It's not just about Windows.
Very good.
All right. Yeah, there's no need to clap for that one. That's all right. It's kind of Atlantis USA. So I work for a company called Atlantis. We have a software-defined storage solution. That software-defined storage solution is a number of different appliances that are all Linux-based. That's fine. We do a number of different stuff in order to improve the storage environment that you've got. Someone said it doesn't matter about IOPS for Windows environments. That man was a liar. It does indeed, especially for those high-intensity graphic workloads, because underlying storage is shit. It doesn't matter how fast your graphics go, it's still going to be shit. This is delivered, as I say, in Linux, so it would be useful to be able to manage those sort of appliance type environments like you get for Netscaler. Let's try and manage that in the smart tool environment. Is that possible? Yes, it is possible. And why is that useful? Because when you get things like the Edge workspace, the Citrix Ready appliance, what you want to do is manage all of that through a single interface, ideally in the cloud. Not necessarily another console that you have to manage, another set of databases you have to manage. Let's let Citrix worry about that. We'll just have some kit here and we'll deploy all of this bit from the cloud. In this instance, it's an HP Intelligent Edge workspace running Atlantis USX. Other vendors may or may not be available in the future. I expect that they will be. I expect to find out synergy. Other than that, but let's not have this, where all of this is manual and all of this you have to do yourself. That's all very good. That's in theory. How practical is it in...
That's not your child, is it?
You know, a rare instance of it, no, it's not my child. It's a random child I found on the internet. We'll edit that in post as well. How long have I got again? About 20 minutes?
Oh no, your time is cool.
Who cares?
How further?
It's all your time.
It's just
13.
13 minutes.
Keep going, so I can finish mine.
All right, okay. This is looking at blueprint deployments. I don't really think we need to look at that, given there's only 13 minutes. This would be a bit more fun. Start this one again. So what I'm going to talk you through is a demo using a video that is running, that counter assures me. I'll press that again. Let's go 3, 4, marvellous. We've got the Smart Tools environment. We've got this connector plane that's going to not only do the deployment piece, but then manage that environment for me. So today, you'd set up a database on your own environment, you'd install DDCs, you'd manage it that way. Now, Citrix are providing you a management plane that's entirely in the cloud, updated every 2 weeks with an absolutely solid build that other people have broken in, all of that. Let's use that service and Smart Tools in order to deploy an environment for stuff that runs on kit that's on your, then managed by you. And this was shown off at Summit. It seems to take a very long time to move on, and there should be a little bar about here that lets me fast forward stuff, and it's disappeared. I don't know why.
Smart Tools.
I don't always enjoy it, actually. And if I press the button, then what happens is it just sort of goes on to the next slide. Let's give it a whirl. Oh, there we go. Oh, happy days. Oh, maybe I... so we've done this, go and press, there we go, press next. Now, this, and it's one of the things about the HC Ready appliances, it's only available today, or it's only available in the first set of iterations on Zen Server, so no ESX, no hybrid, Zen Server only. You activate your license by typing in some stuff, really slowly, and then you're going to accept the EULA. No one's going to read it because no one ever does. And then you click on next. Now you start to provide some information. Now, I've not really done anything here. I'm not I've not really done anything, there's no steps for me to do. All I need to do is provide information, and then everything else from that point in time is going to be automated. So that's the Zen server implementation will be automated. That's the connection to the Citrix cloud environment will be automated. The VHD, the actual template process will be automated, or not if you don't get yes. So what's the question?
So, what do you have in the first place?
All you have are 4, in this case, HP servers in your rack, and you've turned them on, you've powered them on. All your effort up until this point in time is powering them up, and obviously the networking cabling.
So that all goes through the PXC?
Yes.
Or how? Right.
Yes. So you just put it all in, power it all on, and you get this GUI to put in your base information in a worryingly slow, well actually a worryingly slow fashion for me, because I have to talk over it, but for Aaron, who is still finishing his presentation, this is gold. So here, what we're doing is we're saying, provide me with the ISO. So we obviously, as many other people, we can't ship the ISO. I'm intrigued as to how you're getting DLLs in your code. I'm just going to gloss over that. Put the ISOs in, and then we've got smarts, with my smart tools, to build these out and put the agents in so that when they start up, they're effectively sys-prepped with the smart agents already installed and configured. How long do you need? Because I've got more videos.
2 questions for you.
Excellent, marvellous, yes, go on.
With the hybrid deployment, or something similar to this, where we've got both on-prem and perhaps cloud deployment.
Yep.
Obviously, the latest Citrix ones, the ideal is cache RAM, overflow disk. Where does the cache end up now? Is there a further requirement?
Also, we're going to talk PDS.
Yeah, well, PDS and MCS, either way.
All right, I'm with you. So what's the question again?
Caching, where does it end up now? Are we back to I/O as a?
All right, so for both. All right, let's. See, I've got stuff tomorrow. I talk about PDS.
I'm not coming tomorrow.
Well, all right. In which case, I'll answer. What it would do is end up in RAM for most of it, and then when that RAM piece fills up with new data that's coming in, it's going to go down to disk.
Okay.
So where is that disk? It's dependent on what model you're using. This is busy building out, and I'm sure the video's ended. So if it was an on-premise, or one of these devices, whoever you bought it from, it'll be on the disk local to this device. And if it was in Azure, it'd run in the RAM of the Azure VM, and then be written to that storage piece that's been given to that delivery group. The storage in Azure is by delivery groups, it's not, yes? So it'll go in there.
Sure. Second question.
Yes?
Licensing with around the RDS CALs or the VDA, is that still the client's responsibility to make sure that they have those
Yes.
core workloads? So it's not, even if it's in Azure, et cetera, that's sort of integrated as part of, or is it a standalone?
My understanding is that Windows licenses for this type of environment is responsibility of customer. If you go to the Zen Desktop Essentials, Zen App Essentials, then it's all built in.
Right. Thank you.
Am I right in that assumption, sir?
Zen Desktop Essentials is a little bit different, but yes.
Well, yes, because that's really for
It's-
enterprise customers. isn't
Yes,
it?
correct. It needs to have CDB licensing.
So we'll pause that. What's happening now is I have done my deployment, I press go, and then if I was to log on to this Citrix environment, obviously not using that machine, not done yet, I am running through the blueprint and configuring all of the pieces. I will admit to this being a little bit faster, it's been sped up. But this is going through all of the pieces, the cloud connected piece, so I'm installing all the components that are needed on that appliance that I've already created, and now I'm running through the installation. So here, it's not particularly well seen here. Now I'm running through storefront services, it'll run all the Zen app services, it'll configure the environment based on blueprints that are stored in the smart tool environment.
Do you have any influence on the blueprints?
Yes,
Specifically,
let's go back. So we, with some support from Citrix, have developed a blueprint for all of that. So the fun and interesting piece is getting that to you, the customer, which is convoluted today in the smart tools environment. We can make it happen in order to deliver this. It would be nicer if it was fixed so that it was easier to provide you, the consumer, of that blueprint with and to assign it to us. At the moment, essentially we have to share it with you. It's a slightly cumbersome process. As it is out of the box today, it's nicer to have an API that transfer that. I'll come on to that later. So here is actually a fully built out environment. It's been fully built out not by you installing a set of stuff. You've run through that wizard. It's gone through the deployment piece, and now it's a fully deployed environment ready for you to put VMs in, depending on how many VMs that you want, which you've already specified. So how much does it cost? For the really quick typers, you could find out yourself by typing in the URL at the bottom. But the whole workspace service, so that's the management plane, smart tools, all of that piece is $338 per user. This is headline figures. Obviously, you can do all of your negotiating, clever stuff that you do, I am sure. Minimum purchase is 25 subscriptions or less. Or you can start a free trial by clicking on the free trial icon, which obviously does work here, because it's not touch screen. So what would that mean in terms of services? I could have done all this for all of the licenses, or for 500 users for 3 years, I could spend $250,000-ish. Which sounds like a lot of money, but I think it works out at about $2 a day. That might work. So, in theory, smart tools helps everyone. Helps the vendor or the IT supplier, because you get a nice consistent build. It's easy, you can build on the smarts of Citrix or other vendors in order to deliver what the customers want in a reproducible, definable fashion. Happy days. Don't normally have that effect on ladies, but there you go. If I was to look at the service since it was born, more or less, what got better? I'm going to offend some people here, but I'm going to deliver this in a bit of a shit sandwich sort of way. I'm going to talk about the good things, and then hands up Fisherman fans. Yeah, most of the audience. All right. I was going to put my mind on there, but it would be me, Aaron, and he's get the reference. So we'll just do it. It's fucking awful, right? Okay.
Can we have a conversation later about Tim Tams versus penguins?
We can later.
That's simple.
Do these, and then we'll.
That's simple. Penguins every day of the week. Oh.
Right. People, focus, and you are meant to be finishing your presentation.
You have tasty food in Mexico, but that's not.
I should have just put this slide up and talked for 45 minutes. It would have worked. It would have worked. Anyway, let's do the good stuff first. The nice thing about the Smart Tool environment is it actually has a REST API. It's one of the first Citrix services to have a REST API, which is nice. I would hope, let's hope it's not the last. You're providing all of these cloud services. Need to be able to interact with them and make use of them in a sensible fashion, using sensible, well-documented things that other people can use, not secret shit you keep to yourself. Well, I did that. Stability. Early doors, it wasn't stable. Now it is. That's that 2-week iteration. That's the automatic updates that go in the background. That's the benefit of a software as a service. It's nice to have script versioning in. Early versions didn't have script versioning in. There was a nightmare to control. The number of blueprints and components are available is ever growing. That's very cool. You'll notice stuff from other vendors. That's splendid. By all means, you can add in your own. Licensing. When it first came out, licensing was, let me buy it. Yeah, no, how much is it going to cost? Don't know. Now it's all defined as a table given links to that. And documentation, which is always handy. Nice to see Citrix following through. You can comment on the environment, that's cool. The Zen server integration. The Zen server is a platform now which pleases me and you, nobody else. And the expansion of Insight. So Smart Check. If you've got Zen server today, it's just me and you, or if you've got Zen desktop, there's Insight services where you can get Citrix to go and query your environments and provide you some updates and understanding what that environment is. Smart Check is effectively that. Smart Check will do your Windows environment, it'll do MCS, but it won't do PDFs. It's got somewhere to go, but it's a good start. And the Citrix Ready HCI workplace appliances, be that in a box, it was well liked and well loved by a number of people. Then it went away for reasons. Having this automated deployment mechanism is going to make the consumption of Zen desktops and app in environments much easier, and allow you to concentrate on the uniqueness of the customer rather than just the day-to-day drudgery, for want of a better word, of installing stuff that you've installed 1,000 times before. Let's take that away, let's make that much easier. That's the nice stuff. That's the bread in the Vegemite sandwich. Let's talk about the Vegemite. The existing REST APIs are work in progress. Yes, it's there, but there's whole rafts of it missing. Some of it isn't documented. There's key functionality, like me being able to assign you a blueprint that I like. Me being able to assign you a blueprint is hard to do in the REST APIs today. Like, you're nodding at me and I'm talking to you as if we can change it, like this afternoon. I know that's not going to happen. It is being worked on. Not all hypervisor support yet. Smart check, I've talked about this. It's supported on 7.11 and LTSR. That's it. No storefront and Netscaler smart check capabilities. I'm sure these will come in that 2-week cycle. No Hyper-V, no vSphere 6.5. Ho! Smart Tools is interesting and useful. Smart Tools has all of these blueprints and smarts from Citrix, yet there are a number of other services that people, I'm sure, are using today. Anyone using the deployment management service that Windows has already? No, okay. You're an Australian audience, so this might be fun. Res1. The Dutch guy, yeah, the 2 Dutch guys have to stick their hands up, all right, that's fine. Automation machine. Effectively, there are a number of these type of services that will do that automated deployment piece that I'm sure people have in place. And what Citrix have to do is convince you to get rid of them, or not invest in them anymore, or not keep up that payment, and actually buy into using Smart Tools instead. What I'd like to see, if there was a Smart Tools feature, would be an extension of Smart Tools where it's not just managed from the web interface, but managed from whatever device. Yeah, so if Citrix is about anytime, anywhere, I realise that's very old marketing, but if they're in that mindset, having a web page that's only really managed using a PC is, it's a bit old school. Right? It's a bit the thin net. Why can't I have an app that allows me to manage a lot of this stuff and more? So taking in almost functionality of the likes of control that they're doing and allowing me to stop process, start process, reset the user. So I'd like to see that in Smart Tools as well. I've talked about this, I can talk about this at length. I think this is a problem. It's not a killer thing. It's all useful, it all seems handy, people can build on it, but I'd like it more than just to be migration. I'd like Smart Check to be smarter and more widespread so that there's a proper driver for people. I think we're on the start of a road that I can see an end of, but it'd be nice to be further on. And as a final thing, although you've got cloud services, the authentication for Smart Tools, the Smart Tools service, isn't necessarily integrated with that cloud service. So there's a difficulty, and I'm sure Warren would talk at length about having different usernames and security principles in different environments. It makes it very difficult to understand where it is and what you're passing it on to. Still, if you enjoyed that or want to have a look, well, there's a nice thing that Citrix have done, which is put together a reading list, which is all of the documentation, plus some extra pieces and blogs available to you, so you can go and look that up. This is actually a full URL. When you get the deck and you download it, you can click on that, and that makes more sense. And we're done. I hope you are. I'm going to do questions now. How long would you like questions for?
About half an hour.
All right then. On that, you've been an enormous audience that I greatly appreciate. Is that just shut up? Yeah. Any questions?
Yeah.
Quickly?
Yes, a quick one. How robust are the blueprint deployments at the moment? I had up there with the early generations.
Yes.
It was shocking.
Yes. So I'm going to refer you back to all of those things that you said are true. I'm going to refer you back to stability, not only in the way that the Smart Tools service works, like how you interact. Yeah, take a sex toy in a hat. So the blueprints have approved. So the Citrix ones definitely, the community ones, I think a lot of companies, Atlantis as well, for the community stuff that was more widely available, they did it for the launch and then really haven't touched it. We've updated our scripts as part of this, we haven't really touched the community ones. But the Citrix delivered components, the Citrix delivered blueprints are a lot more stable and a lot more reliable than they used to be. If you came in early doors like I did when Adelaide was tiny, then the difference between her being Spider-Man woman is much improved. Good question. Enjoy your sex toy hat. Right.